Versatile Sword Cultivator. Chapter 16. The prodigies of the heavens couldn't hide their disdain upon seeing Lin Jichen's pitifully weak cultivation. Despite their own excellence, none had managed to become disciples of the sect master. Yet this unkempt youth from who knows where had caught the sect master's eye. Whispers and murmurs grew louder and more intense. Elder Tianjian's brow furrowed, and he bellowed, "Silence!" Peace was restored to the scene. Though they dared not gossip any longer, their eyes still challenged Lin Jichen provocatively. Lin Jichen chuckled wryly to himself, realizing that becoming the sect master's disciple wasn't going to be smooth sailing. At the very least, he could foresee the inner palace disciples setting traps for him in the future. But it didn't matter. He was determined to cling to this powerful support, regardless of anyone's opinion. Elder Tianjian was surprised too, but he wouldn't question Ling Feiyan's decision. "Elder Tianjian, please continue your lesson. I will take my disciple back to the Sword Palace. Once he reaches the crystallization stage of cultivation, he will attend your classes." Of course, Elder Tianjian quickly agreed. Without another word, Ling Feiyan lifted Lin Jichen into the air, and in the blink of an eye, they vanished. In just a few breaths, Lin Jichen found himself standing atop the tallest immortal mountain. Up close, he could see that the palace adorned with orchids and osmanthus was called the Sword Palace. There was no one in sight inside the Sword Palace, nor on the mountain. As if reading his mind, Ling Feiyan calmly explained, "The Sword Palace is the core of our Tianyan sect. Apart from hosting meetings, it is visited only by disciples who come to clean every morning. No one else. From today on, you will cultivate here. I will arrange for a disciple to bring you the sect's newcomer package and show you to your quarters. Tomorrow at dawn, meet me in the Great Hall." With that, Ling Feiyan disappeared. Lin Jichen scratched his head, finding his sect master rather aloof. Such a favorable first impression, yet treated so coldly. He could hardly imagine how other players would fare if they encountered Ling Feiyan. Not long after Ling Feiyan left, a sweet voice came from outside the hall. "I heard we have a new disciple in the inner palace. Great. I'm no longer the youngest. I have a junior brother now." As she spoke, a blue-clad girl trotted into the hall. Her beauty was unparalleled, her appearance as delicate as the crescent moon's halo, and snow piled upon flowers. Her petite chin, along with her thin, dainty lips, exuded an indescribable grace and elegance. Her black hair, simply tied into an immortal's bun, accentuated her petite yet curvaceous figure. She wore the same blue and white sword sect uniform as the other inner palace disciples, with a pale pink lotus embroidered on the sleeve and silver threads outlining auspicious clouds. A pink sachet hung at her waist, and she wore deer leather boots with bells that jingled pleasantly as she walked. Especially lively were her eyes, mischievous and playful, instantly endearing her to anyone who saw her. "Junior brother, come and pay your respects to your senior sister." Upon entering, the girl looked around and immediately spotted Lin Jichen in the palace. At first sight of Lin Jichen, she froze in place as if spellbound. Soon, her initial bold demeanor turned shy, her cheeks blushing faintly. Her once chatty mouth suddenly fell silent. Lin Jichen greeted her with a smile, introducing himself. "Junior brother Lin Jichen, at your service, senior sister." The girl, caught off guard by his cooperation, covered her mouth and giggled. Her laughter was charming and endearing. Not bad. My name is Nangong Yue, at the crystallization stage of cultivation. If you need anything, junior brother, your senior sister has got your back." She patted her chest proudly, boasting to Lin Jichen. Lin Jichen immediately showed admiration, flattery coming naturally. "I never imagined my senior sister would not only be more beautiful than flowers, but also possess such high cultivation. I am utterly in awe." Hearing such praise, Nangong Yue bashfully turned her head away, a blush spreading down her neck. Perhaps feeling the need to assert her authority as a senior sister, she put her hands on her hips and tried to look stern. I didn't expect my junior brother to be such a flatterer. But far from being ashamed, Lin Jichen took it as a compliment. There's a saying that goes, to advance in cultivation, don't just focus on training. It's better to flatter than to work hard in vain. Nangong Yue couldn't help but burst into laughter. Her beautiful eyes curved into crescents, her serious facade gone. Ding! Nangong Yue's affection level towards you has increased by 10. Current affection level, 10 points, instant rapport. Seeing the game notification, Lin Jichen's heart swelled with joy. The interactions between players and NPCs were not limited to quests. These NPCs were living characters in the world of immortals, eventually to descend into reality. Building good relationships and cultivating affection levels with them was all benefit and no harm. However, raising affection levels with NPCs was notoriously difficult, even if you possessed transcendent charm. High charm only meant a good first impression, which didn't equate to affection levels. A good first impression simply made it easier to increase affection levels, but it also depended on your actions. If you relied on your charm and behaved inappropriately or offensively, don't expect to raise affection levels. Different affection levels could trigger unique hidden quests and opportunities. There are 10 levels of affection. 1 horde 10 points, instant rapport. 11 horde 20 points, enjoyable conversation. 21 horde 30 points, companions on the journey. 31 buo 40 points, daily companionship. 41, 50 points, heartfelt connection. Beyond that, there are different levels for relationships with the opposite and same sex. 51 60 points, intimate bond, shared adversity. 61 70 points, mutual affection, brotherly bond. 71 80 points, harmonious union, unwavering support. 81 90 points, vows of eternity, see brothers in arms. 91 100 points, undying loyalty together in life and death. These 10 levels of affection represent the relationship with an NPC. Generally, if you reach mutual affection with an NPC of the opposite sex, physical contact is allowed without rejection. Of course, the same goes for the same sex if you're willing to cross swords. At harmonious union, you can become Dao companions, equivalent to being boyfriend and girlfriend, and unlock the dual cultivation mode. The same applies to same-sex relationships. Reaching vows of eternity means marriage with the NPC. At undying loyalty, the NPC will stick by you through thick and thin, never to part. Similarly, but it's well known that raising NPC affection levels is difficult. In his past life, Lin Jichen never managed to break 50 points with any NPC. The highest he achieved was a heartfelt connection with a female elder from the Law sect after 7 or 8 years of selflessly helping her multiple times. Not just him, but among all players of Tale of Immortal, those who raised an NPC's affection level above 70 were exceedingly rare. Versatile Sword Cultivator. Chapter 17. Lin Jichen remembered his life before rebirth. There was a love-struck player who fell for an NPC sister from his sect, pining for her affection. He doted on her, answering her every call, yet her affection level never seemed to rise. Once, when the sister was on a mission, she was captured by demonic cultivators. Knowing he wasn't strong enough, the smitten player spent his fortune to hire a guild to storm the demon's lair with him. In the end, they rescued the sister, but by then, she had been tortured by the demonic cultivators, and her cultivation was destroyed, leaving her paralyzed in bed. Still, the player never left her side. He stayed with her day and night, tending to her needs, braving dangerous leveling areas daily to find heavenly treasures to heal her. After 5 years, the sister finally recovered and was deeply moved by him, her affection level reaching 100 points. This was the first and only instance in the world of maxing out an NPC's affection level. After the game merged with reality, the sister appeared in the real world, still staying by the player's side through thick and thin. Their love story touched everyone, including Lin Jichen. It became one of the most touching love stories in Tale of Immortal, always a hot topic among players. But it also proved how difficult it was to raise NPC affection levels in Tale of Immortal, since NPCs were ancient beings from a world of immortals. Most ancient people had traditional and rigid thoughts, especially women, who mostly adhered to the concept of the 3 obediences and 4 virtues. Of course, modern girls also follow the 3 obediences and 4 virtues. The 3 obediences: never gentle, never considerate, never reasonable. The 4 virtues: can't be spoken to, can't be hit, can't be scolded, can't be provoked. Of course, this refers to some girls, not all. Women in Tale of Immortal value chastity highly and are particularly cautious around men. Once you break through their defenses, they will be devoted to you for life, recognizing you as their true love. For someone like Lin Jichen to reach 10 points upon first meeting is incredibly rare. Since you're my first junior brother, as your senior sister, I should give you a gift for our first meeting. Nangong Yue finished speaking and produced a verdant jade pendant, generously handing it to Lin Jichen. Lin Jichen took it and saw that it was a spirit-grade piece of equipment. In Tale of Immortal, equipment was categorized into 8 grades: ordinary, spirit, mysterious, earth, heaven, holy, immortal, and divine, which included skills, mounts, and so on. Spirit grade, gathering spirit jade. Pendant, defense, +10, heart protection, +5, recovers 1% mana per second when out of combat. Skill, spirit shield, forms a 0.5 second mana shield during combat, blocking 1 skill attack from enemies below the crystal realm. Only blocks skills, and the shield expires after the duration, with a cooldown of 15 minutes. Requirement: none. Heart protection refers to guarding against critical hits, while heart strike is the critical damage. It's akin to blocking critical hits and landing them. However, Tale of Immortal doesn't have critical hit damage. Weak spots must be targeted to deal critical damage. After reading the pendant's description, Lin Jichen was overjoyed. This jade pendant was definitely top-notch among spirit-grade equipment. The spirit shield skill was incredibly practical. It could block 1 skill attack from enemies below the crystal realm, essentially reducing the opponent's skill count by 1 during a fight. But the skill was a test of timing, lasting only 0.5 seconds, meaning the release had to be perfectly timed, or it would be wasted. Lin Jichen wanted to laugh out loud, seeing the benefits of cultivating a good relationship with NPCs, colloquially known as living off a woman. Especially with powerful NPCs, the higher their affection level for you, the more benefits you reap. In his past life, there were indeed many pretty boy players and fox spirit female players who didn't follow the normal gaming route. They didn't cultivate, level up, or run dungeons. They focused solely on how to charm NPCs, especially powerful ones. With the principle of clinging to the powerful for an easy life, they flattered and fawned over formidable NPC characters daily. Eventually, they developed an alternative and bizarre method of cultivation. The most successful player even charmed a nascent Soul Realm female elder from the beast taming sect and became her Tao companion. When everyone heard about it, they were curious and went to see the female elder, expecting a great beauty and envying the player's good fortune. But upon seeing her in person, they were shocked. She resembled Ilaoi from League of Legends. Despite the ridicule, the player didn't care and even shared his insights on living off a woman. He claimed that the uglier the NPC, the easier it was to raise their affection level if you were good-looking and put in the effort. He boldly stated that he used to work as a prince in a nightclub in reality. For him, enduring a bit of ugliness was nothing. He had served far worse, and this NPC was already considered pretty. With that, everyone hailed him as a true man. Lin Jichen didn't have such resolve and determination. Of course, if it were a beautiful NPC, that would be a different story. Cough, cough. Thank you, senior sister. Although Lin Jichen was happy, he maintained a modest demeanor on the surface, not wanting to look down on Nangong Yue and affect future progress in their affection level. No need to be polite, after all. I am your senior sister. Nangong Yue said cheerfully, enjoying being called senior sister by Lin Jichen. Among the inner disciples, she was the youngest, and had never been anyone's senior sister before. Plus, her first impression of Lin Jichen was so good, and she was so delighted by his flattery, that she looked at him even more favorably. Oh, right, the sect master told me to give you the new disciples package. Nangong Yue almost forgot the task given to her by the sect master due to the pleasant conversation with Lin Jichen. She stuck out her tongue playfully and handed Lin Jichen a package. Lin Jichen opened it to find a set of sword sect disciple clothes, a spirit-grade sword, and a storage ring. Spirit-grade, sword sect attire, inner sect. Defense. +115, heart protection, +5, speed, +110. Requirement, none. Spirit grade, gentle breeze sword, inner sect. Strength +110, heart strike, +4. Requirement, none. Spirit grade, stone sinking ring, inner sect. Backpack space, 100 points. Requirement, none. These 3 items were the standard welcome gifts provided by the sect to each disciple. However, Lin Jichen's was an inner sect package, the best kind, with all 3 items being spirit-grade equipment. Outer sect and branch sect disciples could only get ordinary grade sets, which were far inferior in performance. The storage ring even contained 50 low-grade spirit stones, a benefit exclusive to inner sect disciples. 50 low-grade spirit stones equaled 5 months' salary for an outer sect disciple. Outer sect disciples could collect 10 low-grade spirit stones at the end of each month, branch sect disciples 20, and inner sect disciples 50. Aside from the sword sect attire and storage ring, Lin Jichen didn't really need the sword. He had the red cloud sword, which had better attributes. Lin Jichen planned to sell the sword when more sword sect players appeared. All right, my task is done. My father is calling for me, so I'll be going now. I'll come to play with you again when I'm free. After speaking, Nangong Yue hummed a tune and left with a jingle, feeling very happy today. Lin Jichen was also in a good mood. The harvest on the first day of public testing far exceeded his expectations. He changed into the sword sect attire, tossing his original leather armor and iron boots ruthlessly into the ring to be sold later. Such ordinary grade leather armor and boots were nowhere near as comfortable as spirit-grade attire. The sword sect attire, made of blue and white silk, made him look particularly sharp, with gold trim on the sleeves unique to the inner sect. On the left side of the chest was embroidered a miniature sword, and on the right, the words, Tian Yan. After changing into the sword sect attire, Lin Jichen looked completely renewed. Chapter 18. Lin Jichen glanced over his attribute panel. Player, Lin Jichen. Talent, Heaven-Defying Fate. Sect, Tianyan Sword Sect. Reputation, 220. Innate attributes, maxed out. Cultivation, 360-500. Realm, initial stage of Qi refining. Acquired talent, Vitality Seed. Vitality increased by 10%. Vitality, 2200, 2200. Mana, 2000, 2000. Strength, 35. Mental power, 20. Defense, 45. Speed, 40. Critical hit, 7. Heart protection, 15. Swordsmanship, aptitude, +5%. Movement technique, phantom step, beginner, 0%. Equipment, spirit grade, sword sect attire, spirit grade, crimson cloud sword, spirit grade, gathering spirit, jade pendant, spirit grade stone sinking ring. His strength had risen to 35, whereas the average player at the initial stage of Qi refining only had about 10 points. He was now more than 3 times the average. 1 slash from him was equivalent to 4 from someone else. His defense was even more outrageous. Thanks to the gathering spirit jade pendant gifted by Nangong Yue, his defense had reached an astonishing 45. Lin Jichen could now confidently say that no ordinary attack from any player could break his defense or injure him in the slightest, unless they hit a weak spot. After basking in self-admiration for a while, Lin Jichen suddenly remembered that Nangong Yue hadn't shown him to his quarters yet. The senior sister was a bit unreliable. Seeing that Nangong Yue had left early, Lin Jichen had no choice but to leave the grand hall and fumble his way towards the back courtyard. The sword palace was surprisingly large, and after several turns, Lin Jichen still couldn't find his quarters. Just as he was about to give up, a beautiful palace appeared before him. Guessing this was the place, Lin Jichen tentatively walked in. Unexpectedly, before he could take a step forward, he was repelled by a fierce energy. 2199! Pfft. Lin Jichen fell to the ground, coughing up blood, feeling as if he had been hollowed out and severely injured. His health bar plummeted to a mere sliver. Lin Jichen was utterly bewildered, questioning his identity, location, and what had just happened. Then Leng Feiyan, clad in snow-white garments, emerged from the beautiful palace, her expression displeased, her brows furrowed. "Who allowed you to trespass into the sect master's bedchamber? If I hadn't deactivated the array in time, you would have died 1,000 times over." Lin Jichen gave a wry smile, realizing he had taken a wrong turn and stumbled into the sect master's bedchamber. At the same time, he felt incredibly fortunate. He had narrowly escaped death, as dying even once would result in a loss of innate attributes. If he had lost 10% of his attributes, it would have been more unbearable than eating filth. Luckily, Leng Feiyan had intervened in time, or he would have truly been in tragedy. A great man knows when to bow and when to stand tall, so Lin Jichen could only admit his mistake. Disciple acknowledges his error. It was not intentional. Senior sister Nangong had to leave in a hurry because her father called for her, and she forgot to take me to the quarters. I ended up here unintentionally. Knowing that Leng Feiyan was difficult to get along with, Lin Jichen had to be extra careful. If Leng Feiyan began to dislike him, it would be much harder to rely on her support in the future. He didn't directly blame Nangong Yue for negligence, just that she had urgent matters to attend to and forgot about him. This way, Nangong Yue wasn't directly held responsible. Hearing this, Leng Feiyan's expression softened slightly, and she casually tossed him an elixir. "Without my permission, no one is allowed to intrude here. Do not let this happen again." With that, Leng Feiyan turned and left, leaving Lin Jichen to fend for himself. Damn it, that was some rotten luck. Despite his complaints, Lin Jichen knew he had to leave quickly, fearing he might trigger another array. Returning to the Grand Hall, Lin Jichen no longer wished to search for his quarters. He'd just stay in the Grand Hall. Lin Jichen took out the elixir that Leng Feiyan had given him. Mysterious grade purple jade elixir. Increases all combat attributes by 30 points for 5 minutes, and if in a non-combat state, it also restores 3,000 points of vitality. After reading about the elixir, Lin Jichen suddenly felt that taking a hit from an array wasn't such a big deal. As long as he didn't die, he even wanted to take a few more hits. The sect master was indeed generous, casually giving away mysterious grade elixirs. "I can't bear to use this now. I'll save it for later." Lin Jichen carefully stored the elixir, knowing it was best saved for combat. As for now, he preferred to recover his vitality slowly through meditation. Just as Lin Jichen was about to meditate, Nangong Yue's voice rang out again. "Oh no, I forgot the sect master also asked me to take you to your quarters. My dad called for me, and I forgot. Junior brother." "Ah, what happened to you?" Nangong Yue entered to find Lin Jichen severely injured. Lin Jichen immediately slumped to the ground, his breath weak. "Cough, cough. I'm fine. Just got lost in the back courtyard and accidentally triggered an array, sustaining some minor injuries. Cough, cough." Nangong Yue was filled with guilt and apologized profusely. "It's all my fault, junior brother. If it weren't for my carelessness, you wouldn't have been hurt." Lin Jichen quickly raised his hand, shaking his head weakly, as limp as his. It's not senior sister's fault. It's just that I'm too clumsy, even getting lost while walking. I hate my head for being as dumb as a pig." "You're still speaking up for me even in this state, junior brother. You're truly kind. Nangong Yue was moved. On Ding, Nangong Yue's affection level for you has increased by 5. Current affection level, 15 points. Enjoyable conversation. Lin Jichen secretly rejoiced, seizing another opportunity to boost affection level. Hey, if he hadn't acted a bit and said those words, there would be no increase in affection level, only guilt from the other party. So, one must not treat the characters in Tale of Immortal as mere NPCs. They are beings with flesh, blood, and emotions. It's just that no one else knew this except for him, the reborn one. After speaking, Nangong Yue took out a bottle of elixir and handed it to Lin Jichen. Lin Jichen. Hey, a woman's gift is always sweet. This is a vitality elixir. Eat it quickly. I'm giving you the whole bottle as a little compensation. Lin Jichen accepted it without hesitation. Spirit grade vitality elixir. Restores 150 points of vitality per second in a non-combat state, lasting for 10 seconds, 20 pills per bottle. Another great item obtained for free. After consuming 2 pills, Lin Jichen's vitality was fully restored. He skillfully stored the rest in his ring. Thank you, senior sister. It's me who should apologize. Come on, I'll take you to your quarters. With Nangong Yue leading the way, Lin Jichen finally found his quarters, which were spacious, but still for his use alone. This place has been set up by the sect master with an earth-grade gathering spirit array. Meditating here daily will greatly increase the speed of absorbing spiritual energy. Even my father only has a mysterious grade gathering spirit array. I'm so envious of you. Nangong Yue explained. Lin Jichen hadn't expected his quarters to be equipped with an earth-grade gathering spirit array. Players could choose to meditate in a safe place when logging off, which was also known as leveling up while AFK. Generally, cultivation growth was very slow this way. Unless one found a place rich in spiritual energy and safe, it might be a bit faster. If not, a gathering spirit array could be used as a substitute, and all sect quarters were equipped with one. However, they were usually of ordinary grade or spirit grade, with mysterious grade being extremely rare. An earth-grade gathering spirit array accelerated spiritual energy absorption by 300%. Lin Jichen's cultivation talent was already maxed out, and he absorbed spiritual energy very quickly. With the earth-grade gathering spirit array, even if he was AFK, his cultivation would soar. All right, my task is finally thoroughly completed. Junior brother, see you later. Nangong Yue left for real this time, leaving Lin Jichen alone in his quarters. Seeing that there was nothing pressing at the moment, and that Leng Feiyan had asked him to meet her in the Grand Hall the next morning, likely to assign him a cultivation task, Lin Jichen decided to meditate and log off in his quarters. Chapter 19. Ding. Initial stage of Qi refining. Innate comprehension at full value. Earth-grade gathering. Spirit array enhancement. Meditation speed. Plus 52 points hour. Seeing this speed, Lin Jichen had only 4 words to say. Terrifying indeed. The average player at the initial stage of Qi refining would gain about 5 to 10 points per hour through meditation. Lin Jichen's rate was more than 10 times that of others. The benefits of having full comprehension were too numerous. At this rate, after idling for 3 hours, his cultivation at the initial stage of Qi refining would be maxed out. Although it wasn't as fast as grinding monsters, the cultivation gained for free was definitely sweeter than what was hard-earned. He logged off the game, feeling quite pleased. Lin Jichen opened his eyes and stepped out of the bedroom. Glancing at the time, it was only 5 in the morning. He had played all night without a hint of sleepiness. All he felt was excitement. Yes, to be able to start over with such a great beginning, Lin Jichen was in an exceptionally good mood. He had already surpassed all other players by a large margin, no longer the ascetic monk who started a year later than others and was cursed with mediocre innate talent. In this life, he was determined to completely change his previously miserable fate. Looking at the bank SMS on his phone, your account ending in 7758 has a balance of 35 yuan, industrial and commercial bank. In just 5 hours, Lin Jichen had earned over 1.6 million. Lucky for him that he was reborn, or he would have definitely run off to a nightclub to celebrate. Having experienced his past life, Lin Jichen was quite calm about the money. He opened the game's official website and placed an order for a gaming pod. Why wait to spend the money when you have it now? In a few years, the value of real-world money would depreciate significantly. Lin Jichen skipped the standard and luxury models, directly opting for the top-tier gaming pod, and he ordered two, one for himself and one as a gift for Ren Lan. Each top-tier gaming pod cost 1 million, which Lin Jichen originally couldn't afford. However, since the game was just in open beta, the top-tier gaming pods were not selling well, so the officials launched a promotion, offering a 30% discount on the first batch. So for just 1.4 million, Lin Jichen got two. If he had enough money, he would have bought more. The number of top-tier gaming pods was limited. Once sold out, no amount of money could buy them. After paying, his balance instantly dropped to just over 200,000. He had spent most of his earnings in the blink of an eye, but Lin Jichen didn't feel the slightest regret. Thinking of giving Ren Lan a surprise, Lin Jichen sent her a WeChat message, asking her to come over to his place when she woke up, and sent her the location. Putting down his phone, he felt a bit hungry. Lin Jichen went to the kitchen and made a bowl of beef noodles with the ingredients he bought last night. Just after finishing his meal and washing the bowl, his phone rang. It was Ren Lan. "Why are you asking me to come over to your place? I was planning to run on the school track this early in the morning." Ren Lan yawned, obviously just waking up. Lin Jichen wasn't surprised that she was up so early. Miss Frenzy was a fitness fanatic with a routine as disciplined as a soldier's. She would get up at 5 or 6 every morning, then go for a run for an hour or two, and in the afternoon, she'd be practicing boxing and pumping iron at the gym. A true fitness enthusiast. "Come over, I have something to tell you." "Fine. But if it's nothing important and you delay my workout, I'll turn you into a panda." Not long after hanging up, in less than half an hour, the doorbell rang. Lin Jichen opened the door to see Ren Lan, who had just woken up, standing in front of him. "So this is your new rental? Yo, not bad at all." Ren Lan walked in nonchalantly, looking around and admiring the place. But soon she got annoyed. "Little Lin, you sure know how to enjoy life. Such a nice place must cost at least 5,000 or 6,000 a month, right? You wastrel, spending the gym membership fees I gave you like this." Lin Jichen deliberately teased her, sitting on the sofa with a leisurely smile. "What else can I do? I can't pay you back anyway. Might as well spend it all quickly, so you won't worry about your money." "Sure. What did you say?" Ren Lan instantly turned into a tigress, charging at him and grabbing Lin Jichen by the neck. "You heartless bastard! You dare to scam me out of my gym money! Even if I can't get the money back, I'm going to use you as a punching bag today." Hey, let me finish." Lin Jichen was startled and quickly tried to explain, but Ren Lan was no longer listening, gripping Lin Jichen's neck and pinning him down on the sofa, ready to deliver a beating. Of course, Lin Jichen wouldn't let her hit him for free, so he struggled. But without the integration of the game world, his physical strength was no match for Ren Lan, the tigress, and he couldn't even muster the strength to fight back. Lin Jichen, a man of over 1.8 meters and weighing more than 130 pounds, was weaker than a girl. It was clear how formidable Miss Frenzy was. Her years of fitness training were not in vain. Seeing that brute force was useless, Lin Jichen resorted to a trickster's tactic, tickling. He sneakily attacked Ren Lan's armpits with his hands. Ren Lan instantly lost her composure, her strength vanished, and now it was her turn to struggle. "Ha ha ha! Little Lin, stop, ha ha ha! I won't hit you anymore, okay? Ha ha!" Finally gaining the upper hand, Lin Jichen wasn't about to let her go so easily, determined to reclaim some dignity. Seeing that Lin Jichen wouldn't stop, Ren Lan couldn't take it anymore, and in desperation, she punched him right in the eye. "Ouch!" Lin Jichen cried out in pain, covering his eye, no longer daring to tickle her. Now he was at a real loss, having actually been punched. Plus. Renlan knew she had hit too hard and immediately bent down to ask, "Are you okay?" Lin Jichen didn't answer, still covering his eye. "Let me see." "No." Lin Jichen stubbornly covered his eye like a petulant wife. "Let me see. We need to check if you need to go to the hospital." Renlan was anxious and tried to pry his hands apart, but he was holding on too tightly, and she couldn't exert much force while bending over, so she sat on Lin Jichen's stomach to pry his hands open. After prying them open, Renlan saw Lin Jichen's pitiful right eye. His eye was fine, but the socket had turned blue. With one eye bruised, Lin Jichen looked just like a panda. Pfft. Renlan couldn't hold back her laughter, not feeling guilty at all, but instead found it amusing. Lin Jichen was so angry he wanted to curse, and immediately grabbed Renlan's waist, flipped her over with force, and pinned the unsuspecting Renlan onto the sofa. Their positions were instantly reversed, with Lin Jichen's entire body pressing down on Renlan, his hands pinning her wrists. Renlan began to struggle again, and amidst the laughter and play, their bodies pressed tightly together. This position, Lin Jichen felt the softness of Renlan's body, and with the pressure on his chest, a physiological reaction was immediate. Both parties finally realized the situation. Lin Jichen quickly got up and fled. Renlan glared at him fiercely, her neck flushing red, which quickly spread to her face. "Lin Jichen, you dare take advantage of me!" Lin Jichen hurriedly denied it, saying, I didn't. Don't talk nonsense." "You still dare to play the denial game. Watch me punch you flying." Wrong. I admit my mistake, okay?" Lin Jichen quickly cowered, not wanting to become a complete panda. At least you have some sense." Renlan finally let it go, standing tall and proud like a victorious rooster. Lin Jichen rolled his eyes. He just wanted to joke with this woman, but ended up getting beaten for nothing. This Miss Frenzy, cursed to never marry in this lifetime. Chapter 20. Ding ding dong dong. Just then, Lin Jichen's phone rang. Picking it up, he saw it was a call from the delivery person. The game company sure shipped fast. "Mr. Lin, we've arrived downstairs at your place. Should we bring everything up?" "Hold on a moment, let me check." Lin Jichen immediately asked Renlan, "I bought you a gaming pod. Do you want it in your dorm or at your place?" "A gaming pod? For me? Where did you get the money?" Renlan was baffled. "I'll tell you later. Just tell me where to put it so I can instruct the delivery guy." "My dorm room is too small, and my dad would smash it if it's at home. Just put it at your place. I have a room there anyway." Lin Jichen nodded and told the delivery guy to bring both pods up. Soon, the 2 gaming pods were brought in. Lin Jichen directed the installation in 2 separate bedrooms, covering his eyes to avoid any potential ridicule from the delivery guy. The delivery guy was quick, finishing in about 15 minutes. Lin Jichen signed off, and they left. Once they were gone, Renlan couldn't hold back any longer. "What's going on? Where did you get so much money? Spill it." Lin Jichen coolly countered, "What do you think? Did you sell your body at a nightclub? Come on, little Lin, I won't laugh at you." Lin Jichen's face darkened as he pretended to make a phone call. "Hello, delivery guy. Can you come back? I need to return one of the gaming pods. Before he could finish, Renlan rushed over, grabbing his arm and shaking it frantically. "Come on, brother Lin. I was wrong, okay? You've already bought it. How can we return it?" Listening to Renlan's tigerish apology, Lin Jichen felt a surge of satisfaction. Even the feisty ones bow down sometimes. "Sigh, if someone would massage my legs and shoulders right now, I might reconsider." Lin Jichen sat back on the couch, firmly in control. "Your wish is my command." Renlan obediently came over and began the massage. Lin Jichen wondered if he should make some excessive demands, but the thought lasted only half a second before he dismissed it, knowing well that if he dared, his other eye would surely turn black too. All right. You've been so good, I won't return it." "Really? Ha. I'm getting a gaming pod. A $50,000 pod. That's 2 years of my gym membership. Boo-hoo. This is the most expensive gift I've ever received. I'm going to take pictures and post them on WeChat, Ren Lan said, dashing into her bedroom to admire her gift, thinking Lin Jichen had bought the standard $50,000 model. Lin Jichen couldn't be bothered to show off and let her remain blissfully ignorant. He went back to his own bedroom, looking at the top-of-the-line gaming pod like someone who'd never seen the world. The difference between a gaming ring and a pod was significant. The main difference was the time a player could spend in the game. Gaming ring users could only last about 10 hours before their physical condition affected their gameplay. If they continued, they'd be afflicted with a fatigue status in the game, slowing all actions by 10%, a reminder from the game to log off. Once fatigue reached 30%, they'd be forced to log off. But the gaming pod was different. It had a biological nutrient solution to sustain the player's body and even allow for proper sleep. Players could game for long periods without any physical issues. A standard pod allowed for a full day and night of play, a deluxe model for 2 days and nights, and the top model allowed for a week straight without needing to exit. Plus, the gameplay was smoother for pod users compared to ring users. Lin Jichen admired the luxurious pod, unable to let go. He'd never used a gaming pod in his life, even as a master of the Enlightenment realm, because the game's popularity made them scarce. Before the game merged with reality, the price of pods rose daily. In just a couple of years, even the lowest model cost millions, and the top models were nearly impossible to buy. Lin Jichen couldn't afford that. And as the two worlds merged, the pods lost their purpose. So this was his first time using such advanced equipment. If Ren Lan weren't there, he'd have dived into the game to experience it right away. Next door, Ren Lan was even more over the top, hugging and taking photos with the pod, excited beyond coherence. Little Lin, thank you. This is the best gift I've ever received in my life. Ha! Ha! Ren Lan burst out, dancing with joy, living up to the crazy lady nickname Lin Jichen had given her. Good to see you happy. The money for the pod came from my earnings in the game, so you can stop suspecting I sold my body. As he spoke, Lin Jichen didn't forget to transfer the money he owed her for the gym membership. Wow, how long have you been playing this game to earn so much? Is it that easy to make money? Maybe I should drop out and earn with you. Ren Lan was astonished, her eyes filled with admiring stars. That was just luck. I found some good equipment and ran into a couple of wealthy second-generation players bidding, so I made a lot. You want to drop out? Sure. Lin Jichen wasn't opposed to Ren Lan dropping out to play the game. The sooner she started, the better. I'm just kidding. If I dared to drop out, my mom would break my legs. I'll just come over to play when I have time. Ren Lan said, then excitedly added, School's about to break for the holidays. I'll tell my mom I'm going on a trip and come here to play my heart out. You'll have to show me the ropes in the game. Lin Jichen chuckled and nodded. Sure, you're always welcome. He tossed her a set of keys to his place. After finally seeing off this silly woman, Lin Jichen decided to take a shower and rest, as there was still time before meeting Leng Feian. Setting an alarm, he thought to get some good rest before a satisfying battle in the game. While setting the alarm, Lin Jichen noticed a familiar name on WeChat. Gu Qiu. Little Chen, my birthday is coming up in a few days, and my colleagues at the hospital want me to host a dinner. Do you have time to come? She had sent him a message a few days ago, but Lin Jichen hadn't replied. In his previous life, he had forgotten about it because he was with Guo Jie and never got back to her. By the time he heard from Gu Qiu again, she was about to get married to a doctor from her hospital who had been pursuing her. At the wedding, he asked her why she suddenly decided to marry someone she had told him she didn't like. Gu Qiu didn't answer and left in tears. A few years later, she took her own life due to depression. Lin Jichen never found out what had happened to her. Now, he was determined to find out what had happened back then. After a moment of silence, Lin Jichen immediately replied, Sis, I'll definitely be there. After sending the message, he turned off his phone and lay down to rest. But his mind was restless, haunted by the image of a serene and gentle face. Chapter 21, Tianyin Sword Sect, Sword Palace Grand Hall. Lin Jichen stood atop the hall, waiting with a trace of nervousness. Soon, Leng Feiyan materialized within the hall and took her seat at the head. Upon laying eyes on Lin Jichen, a flicker of surprise crossed Leng Feiyan's face. "Are you on the verge of a breakthrough?" Her clear voice, like water flowing over pebbles, was cool and tinged with a hint of frost. Even though it wasn't his first time hearing it, Lin Jichen still felt a bit intimidated, the events of yesterday still vivid in his mind. "Greetings, Master. Yes, I am." As soon as Lin Jichen logged in, his cultivation had already reached 500. However, since each minor stage required a specific elixir to break through, his cultivation was stuck at the bottleneck of the initial stage of qi refining. "Not bad. Your aptitude is indeed the best I've seen." Leng Feiyan's expression finally softened a bit. Perhaps because of the incident at the palace yesterday, she hadn't been too pleased with Lin Jichen upon arrival. "You now need a gathering qi pill to break through to the middle stage of qi refining. There are 4 grades of gathering qi pills. The most common low-grade pills can be bought in towns. Mid-grade pills are available in many small sects. High-grade pills are only found in large sects. And as for the top-grade pills, only the top sects possess them. I have here a top-grade gathering qi pill." After speaking, Leng Feiyan's palm revealed a luminescent green pill, brimming with rich spiritual energy. Different grades of gathering. Qi pills have varying effects after breaking through a minor stage. The higher the quality, the more attributes it adds. A top-grade gathering qi pill like this was something most players might not have even heard of. Lin Jichen thought Leng Feiyan was going to give it to him directly, and immediately beamed with gratitude. "Thank you, Master." However, Leng Feiyan seemed to have a different idea. "Although you possess exceptional talent, I worry about nurturing you into nothing more than a brocade pillow, all show and no substance. A true powerhouse needs not only realm and cultivation, but also the experience of countless battles. Otherwise, no matter how high your cultivation, you're just a vase fragile and easily shattered, at risk of dying at the hands of others or being devoured by beasts. What you lack is combat experience." Leng Feiyan paused for a moment, her face stern as she patiently instructed. "Remember, my disciple, combat talent is no less important than talent for cultivation. A person with strong combat talent can even overcome opponents of higher cultivation. Conversely, without combat talent and experience, even those with high cultivation can easily be defeated by someone of lower cultivation." Lin Jichen deeply resonated with her words. The game's operational ceiling was extremely high. He had often defeated enemies of higher levels in the past. Cultivation could be fed with elixirs and heavenly treasures. Attributes could be stacked with equipment. But combat talent had no shortcuts. Aside from innate gifts, it required relentless tempering and experience accumulated through countless battles. The famous experts on the leaderboard of immortals from his past life were all veterans of numerous battles. Players who only paid to win, no matter how much they spent on equipment and divine elixirs, struggled to become experts. Unless their equipment and realm were so far above others that skill couldn't make up for the gap, that was a different story altogether. After listening to Leng Feiyan's teachings, Lin Jichen subconsciously shared his insights from his past life on the path of immortality. "Master is right. I also believe that flowers grown in a greenhouse are unworthy of the immortal path. Only the trees that grow amidst thunder can attain eternal life." Leng Feiyan's beautiful eyes flashed with surprise, and she pondered Lin Jichen's words, her appreciation deepening. "Ding. Leng Feiyan's affection for you has increased by 5. Current affection level, 5 points, familiarity at first sight." Lin Jichen hadn't expected that simply sharing his past life's insights would earn the sect master's favor. Although it was a small amount, it was an excellent start. At least the unpleasantness of yesterday was finally behind them, and there was no need to worry about being given a hard time. With this newfound affection, Leng Feiyan's tone was no longer as cold as before, but much gentler. "You have such insight, which I did not expect. Where did you hear such wisdom?" Leng Feiyan didn't believe that Lin Jichen had come to this realization on his own, given that he was just a qi-refining novice. How could he have grasped such profound truths? It was impossible for someone without experience to utter such maxims. Lin Jichen didn't bother to claim the insights as his own. After all, they were from his past life's enlightenment realm and his understanding of the path of immortality. Naturally, he would not disclose this. It was from a chance encounter with a senior in the enlightenment realm who imparted this advice to me. Leng Feiyan nodded slightly. Such a fortuitous encounter is quite extraordinary. Recognizing the value of his words will benefit your Tao heart in the future. In that case, go to the sect's mission hall in the outer temple and pick a difficult task suitable for the qi-refining realm. Complete it successfully, and the gathering spirit pill is yours. Faced with Leng Feiyan's small test, Lin Jichen didn't haggle and immediately accepted. Leng Feiyan cautioned, "Although the tasks in the outer temple are simple compared to the inner temple's dangers, some still carry significant risks. Choose wisely and don't overreach." "I understand, Master." "Before you undertake the mission, I will impart to you our sect's core technique, the Tianyin Heart Sutra. It is a fundamental technique that all disciples of the Tianyin Sword sect must learn. The more proficient you are in the technique, the greater the benefits. I hope you will practice diligently." With that, a booklet flew towards Lin Jichen. Lin Jichen caught it, and indeed, it was the renowned Tianyin Heart Sutra. The Tianyin Heart Sutra was available to all disciples of the Tianyin Sword sect, though inner temple disciples could learn it directly. Outer temple disciples had to serve the sect and accumulate contributions before they could exchange for it, a measure of their loyalty to the sect. Although the Tianyin Heart Sutra was a basic technique accessible to all disciples, it was a top-tier technique for sword cultivators. However, the effectiveness of the technique was matched to your realm. The higher your realm, the stronger the effect. Conversely, at a lower realm, the Tianyin Heart Sutra would seem quite ordinary. Tianyin Heart Sutra, Qi Refining Realm. All combat attributes plus 5%. Requirement: only Tianyin Sword Sect disciples may learn. Any unauthorized learners are enemies of the Tianyin Sword Sect. "Thank you, Master." Lin Jichen bowed in acknowledgement and then left with a composed demeanor. Exiting the inner temple, Lin Jichen returned to the outer temple of the Tianyin sect. The outer temple was no longer occupied by Lin Jichen alone. A few new sword sect players had joined. Although the sect invitation task was somewhat hidden, attentive players would always discover it. So, in the half-day since Lin Jichen had logged off, some players had found the trick and joined the sect. No doubt, as time passed, more would come to know of it. Lin Jichen thought of Su Wanling, wondering if she had made full use of the information he sold. For an individual, 50,000 might not be worth it, but Su Wanling represented an entire guild. Guild players value getting a head start more than anything. 50,000 in exchange for the entire guild's players getting at least a half-day lead over other players was an absolute bargain for Su Wanling. Indeed, that was the case. Players from Su Wanling's managed Moonshadow Guild had already joined various major sects, gaining a lead over all other guilds. While other guilds envied them, they also wondered how the Moonshadow Guild had learned the secret to joining the sects.